Hi, everyone. Welcome to the latest of the Overboard Network, a Below Deck podcast. We're back with the season finale of season 3 Sailing Yacht titled All Roads Lead to Gazy. In this week's episode, we drop off the last charter guests of the season, have one more night to blow it out, and say goodbye to one of our favorite crews. We'll go over who won and who lost the episode, go over our question of the week, and we'll thank a fan for a review. As always, you can email us at belowdeckpod@gmail.com to submit life advice questions you have. Let's bring in my co-host. Now, Sean, I want to start at the conclusion of the wedding, which is the top of the episode. Do you think Gary and Daisy made it a little bit too much about them right after the ceremony was finished?
Yeah. To their credit, the guests did too, because they kept bringing it up. But John, I know we mentioned this a little bit last week. So when Daisy catches the bouquet, Gary runs in the water. That makes no sense, right? He's the one that really wants Daisy, not the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, Gary's a showman in all aspects, right?
He's so committed to that joke. Like he's always wanted to do that. And it was hilarious. Also, John, Daisy, I mean, Derry's right there.
Yeah, but
for the couple name, I kind of like Derry.
I feel like the milk industry is going to have something to say about that. There's a copyright infringement going on.
The milk lobby. Yeah. That's true.
Sean, you ever caught I guess guys don't really catch bouquets historically, but like, don't guys like catch like garters or something? Is that a thing?
I do a lot of weddings, man. That happens very rarely.
Okay.
That's kind of down out of style.
All right.
The garter tail, at least in the Northeast. I can't speak to the rest of the country. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to get to more weddings here in Colorado. I mean, I kind of think even on the way back, like on the boat ride back, they were, there was a lot of gazy talk. And so I'm like, I don't know, man, these guys just got married like 10 minutes ago. Maybe we'll just like make it about them. I know there was no like, negative intent or anything by Daisy or Gary, but it just kind of like came off that way. And I just thought it was really weird.
I think it was kind of a low-key couple. No, I say that, but they also had a wedding on TV on a yacht. So maybe they weren't, but some people don't love to be the center of attention the entire time. So if you got Daisy and Gary right there, you're like, hey, let's put it on them. And hey, I mean, throughout the episode, the chemistry is there, whether Daisy wants to fully admit it or not. But
yeah, no, that's fair. Sean, let's get back to, so they're coming back from the wedding. And I think Ashley and Scarlett are a little behind the 8 ball as far as, getting everything ready. It seems like there's some champagne glasses that aren't ready, this, that. They end up doing a pretty good job, but it was a little tight. And I think it had Ashley not made time for everything and everything was set up well, I think the rest of the episode would have gone pretty different.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that was just like editing or building tension. But credit to her, she does ask Scarlett for help. And, there's a part of you, and maybe even earlier in the season, like maybe she wouldn't have asked Gabriella for help or something, because she's trying to prove she can do it herself. And yeah, sometimes as far as like being a good like leader or boss or just employee is just like asking for help when you need it. And they do get it done, and it does impress Daisy. She says it looks beautiful, and she puts her on lead for dinner.
Yeah, so that was big for Ashley, and obviously Scarlett gets some praise there too. So Sean, speaking of dinner, let's get into the final dinner of the season. I wanted to ask you a question. Do you think it was weird that it was a white party, basically for like a, wedding reception?
Again, it's maybe this couple doesn't love the attention while being on TV. I know that doesn't make any sense.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm thinking it's a white party. I'm like, well, I'm sure the bride has something she wants to change into that's white. It's her day. I just thought it was odd that everybody else was wearing white.
Yeah. And no one's going to care about my opinion on this, but I thought I liked her first dress, like on the beach. It wasn't much, but I thought she looked great. The second thing she changed into, wasn't a fan. Yeah. I know no one like straight white guy. No one cares about my opinion. Just throwing it out there.
I liked her wedding dress. Here's a question: can you like take the trail off?
I have no idea.
Can you just
Probably.
like rip it? Why? Like if she ripped that off and it was just a cocktail dress, I agree. That's a 10 out of 10 dress.
Yeah. I just remember not being like, oh, not a fan of the second one.
Kind of like the zip offs. We need like the zip offs from like the early 2000s.
Oh
pants.
yeah.
I need that for like wedding dresses. You just like rip that off. Trail's gone. You've got to dress the dance in the rest of the night.
Early 2000s high school, like some of the pants being worn. Remember like when pants had like a zipper? Well, you're talking the full zip off.
I remember the zip offs. But then remember like,
there's like a
Jinkos.
Yeah, there's like a quarter zip off at the very bottom. So
yeah.
It would look really baggy at the bottom. That was also a look.
Yeah. Man, if we can go back to those days. I had a pair of cargo pants that they were just like zippers on the sides. But like you could see them. Like they weren't like hidden. They were just like full zippers. Man, never again.
What a time to be alive. Yeah.
I know. Let's see. So
she looked ugly at dinner, but
so I mean, other than that, I didn't really have too much from this crew. From the guests. You know, I really liked their final dinner. It seems like, Marcos went really out of his way for it, but he always does. So it looks like they had some like tomahawk steaks that they had. And honestly, it looked really good. And even breakfast the next day. The guy just continues to kill it. But Sean, they gave something pretty interesting. They gave not only a big bottle of champagne, but a nice $20,000 tip.
That was there was a moment they do this sometimes where they just get shown the big bottle and you think maybe that's it.
I thought maybe no tip for a second, but I was like, no, they couldn't do that. Like these are too nice of people,
Yeah, they were really great people, seems like. And I mean, hey, they did a wedding for them, like a nice one too. Yeah. And also that Marcus's wedding cake looked awesome.
Yeah, it seemed like he turned out pretty well. We shouldn't have skipped over that.
I don't know how it tasted with a gluten-free flour and stuff, but I don't know. Like just presentation of it, at least, like it looked amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I had compared to Below Deck Down Under, they're killing it tip-wise this season.
Yeah, well, it's pretty interesting too. Well, hold on. So this is filmed in the summer, right?
I think so. Yes.
So it's actually pretty interesting because when they film it this upcoming summer, like right now, the euro and the dollar are like neck and neck.
Oh, okay.
Versus last year when the euro was way higher. So I wonder how that's going to impact like tip. Will it be, it depends on where the people come from, but when they convert it, they'll get more euros if that's what they want.
Oh, they've done some seasons in Greece. Greece doesn't use the euro, right?
No, I think it uses the euro.
They do. Okay. I think originally the EU wouldn't let them use the euro.
Well, yeah, they've got some
issues.
They've got some debt issues.
Okay. Apologies to all of our listeners from Greece, but I wasn't sure.
They know, they know. So yeah, $20,000 tip. So Sean, we actually looked, it was $160,000 for the entire season, which like, I started to think about it. I'm like, that's what do they split it? Like 10 ways? Or do they split it more than that?
Yeah, well, it's the 8 crew member, the 8 people on camera we see, right?
Right. Because does Glenn get a piece?
Yeah.
So Glenn, it's 9.
Oh yeah, you're right. Wait, because there's that's 9. Yeah, it's 9.
Chef, engineer, Gary, Kelsey, Barnaby, Daisy, Scarlett, and Ashley. So that's 9. Plus there's usually I say usually a first officer, but I'm sure Gary fills that role. So maybe it's just 160 split 9 ways.
Yeah, Below Deck and Below Deck Med and Below Deck Australia, there's like 2 people off camera. Usually like the engineer and first officer.
Yeah.
And with Below Deck Sailing, it's just the crew we see on camera. So
yeah.
So yeah, split 9 ways.
It's like 17, 18 grand.
That's plus their regular salary.
Yeah.
And we have to remember Chuck and Erica's charter where they tipped like $5,000.
Yeah, 6,500. I remember. Yeah, that was the worst. I think that was like Gary's like low of the season.
That was, yeah. But still, very they did a great job.
Yeah. Now, Sean, I did love about this episode. The guests were off within 25 minutes of the episode. So we had 35 minutes of shenanigans and goodbyes. And it starts pretty high. So honestly, yeah, there's a couple drinks and people are having a good time before they go to dinner. But I will just say, I am so jealous all the time of the cab rides that these guys have.
Oh, they're always good.
They're just like, they've got some road sodas. I just want to be part of that cab. I don't care which one. Like it just seems like a great time. And time and time again, man, they just kill it.
I think so. One cab was like Daisy and Gary. I know Colin and Ashley were in one, and Colin tells Ashley she grew a lot this season.
Yeah, and Barnaby's in that one.
Yeah. And I think John, you mentioned Ashley was promoted to lead stew
at the very end, which I just like.
But it's not one of those second stew.
What? Not second stew. So Daisy made it seem like she was lead stew, but not second stew, which I think it's not as high as second stew, because basically it just says you're like lead junior deckhand, essentially. And even Barnaby calls it out. He's like, I don't even know what that is. Like, that's not a real title. But she gets it at the end, which like Malia did this at the end of Med, where she like said, we're going to make someone lead deckhand. And then she didn't do it until the final dinner. And so I'm thinking, do you put it on your resume? Like, do you put it on your CV? That's like, I was lead deckhand technically I was promoted to it after the season. And it's the same thing for Ashley. Can she say she was the lead deckhand for that whole season now?
Not if they have Bravo.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And we don't even know what that title means. Yeah. Because you can make an argument. Daisy promoted her over herself. Lead versus chief.
Oh yeah. I don't think anyone's going to confuse those two, but
she accidentally made Ashley her boss. Yeah.
Real quick for a minute. I hear the pay bump's great. So, so we get into dinner. Actually, I don't even want to say dinner because Sean, I want to talk about the logistics of this evening.
Okay.
They go to one table. They have appetizers and drinks, and Captain Glenn joins. And then they move to a separate second table for dinner. I can't tell if that's a power move. If you rent out the whole place, you can do whatever you want. But did you notice the transfer of tables?
I did. I was confused as well. It would have made no, because they just get rid of one chair. Like when Glenn leaves. Like it's pretty simple. It seems extravagant to have two separate tables for one for appetizers and one for dinner.
I mean, I kind of get it if you're like someone's house and they're like, yeah, we'll have like something in the parlor, and then we'll have our actual dinner in the dining room,
okay. That is kind of cool though.
Yeah. So I get it, but I just haven't seen it like restaurants where they can just, clear tables, like clear your plates and put new more food down.
Yeah. Where you can see the second table you're sitting at too, like for dinner. Yeah. It's one thing if it's in a different room. Yeah,
but I guess they rented out the whole place, so whatever. So Sean, when they get into dinner, Gary goes over. He starts the trend of like highs and lows.
Love this.
So this was pretty good. So Gary's high was how much his friendship with Daisy means, and I think he's been buttering her up, since the get-go. So, but I think it might work. And he also says that his low is the $6,500 tip that Erica and Chuck left. And and then and I don't know if you have anything to say about Gary